This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Free free. There's also creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I actually use Anchor for this podcast, and it has saved me a lot of time and energy because everything is consolidated in one place. It just makes it so much easier. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, my name is Christian. I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non-productive members of society. They are also told that their opinions are warped and that they don't matter. This podcast is designed to express an opinion, but from a millennial's perspective. We will talk about everything from love and relationships to pop culture to pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. So I am about to give a transparent moment right now. I was really struggling in trying to find what I wanted to discuss with you guys about on today's episode. What I try to do is really give you guys content that you'll enjoy and something that first I would enjoy if I was listening to this podcast. So I try to really think long and hard about what I want to talk about with you guys. For today's episode, I had a little bit of a blockage. Just like authors have writer's block, I had a content creation block. A lot of people think that content creation is pretty easy and straightforward. No, it's not. And I believe it's a little bit more harder for me too, because I'm not naturally a creative person. At least I don't think that I am. So it takes me a little bit more effort to try to be creative and come up with creative things that people will enjoy. Thus, the struggle. I be on the struggle bus quite often, which kind of frustrates me, but I'm working on trying to cultivate my creativity skills and come up with content that you guys will enjoy. That's what I try to do. I want my content, whatever I'm putting out there, to be something that you guys will enjoy. First, I want to make sure that it's something that I would enjoy if I was listening to this podcast. And I feel like if I could enjoy, then maybe someone else could too. All that to say, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast, for taking time out of your day to listen, whether it's during your free time or during work to pass the time, on the plane, while you're traveling, wherever you are. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted. Also, if there's any topics that you want me to talk about, please make sure you send them to me at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. And I will be more than happy to look over them and and come up with a topic that I could talk about based on what you suggested. Okay, transparent moment over. I do have a couple of announcements. First, make sure that you subscribe to my blog, What Makes You So Special. It's a blog about authenticity and being your authentic self. So if you're looking for more transparent moments from yours truly, you will get them from this blog. You can go to christianfuller.com/blog, and that's where you will find my blog posts. Now, I haven't been posting lately, but my plan is starting this month to post every Friday. So subscribe to my blog, and then you'll know when my blog posts will come out. Also, new podcast alert. So I have a new podcast coming out with my good friend, Justice Sorrows. It's called Dear Black Jesus. Basically, it is a modern day twist on Dear Abby or Strawberry Letters. We find situations either on social media or through the media period, on the news, etc. Or we may even take situations or questions that listeners have submitted to us, and we give our opinions on it. And it is raw, unfiltered, and honestly, I be cracking my own self up with what we be saying. So this podcast launches in the spring. If you want to know more information, make sure that you follow us on Instagram at dear_black_Jesus, and you'll get all of the details there, and then a sneak peek of kind of the of the route that we're trying to take, so you can kind of get a feel of what our podcast will be like. Okay, I think that is all of my announcements. So let's get into this episode. As I was saying earlier, it was a struggle for me to think of what I wanted to talk about with you guys. And I finally settled on this one topic that I really hold a lot of weight to. And to others, it may just seem kind of silly, but to me, this particular topic has a lot of weight and has a lot of meaning. And that is dreams. Yes, dreams, when you fall asleep and get into that good REM sleep and you have those dreams that you don't know the meaning of, that seem real, but it's not real, but you want it to be real in certain instances. Yes, dreams. Dreams is what I want to talk about today. So what is a dream? I think we all have an idea of what a dream is, but more specifically, a dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The content and function of dreams are not fully understood, although they have been a topic of scientific, philosophical, and religious interest throughout recorded history. I remember seeing the movie Avatar, and when they were putting the guy under in order to put him into the Avatar world, it seemed like they put him in a deep sleep. And when he was in a deep sleep, his eyes were closed, but his eyes were moving back and forth pretty rapidly while he was in the Avatar world. That seems to happen when you're dreaming. So when you're dreaming, your eyes are moving really fast, you're in a relaxed state, etc. Now, we have dreams about pretty much anything from family to crazy stuff like clowns, everything. Me, I am a dreamer. I definitely dream a lot, and I remember my dreams. Some people may not remember their dreams, but I do. I remember my dreams. Some of my dreams are kind of crazy. It's like, okay, I ate something last night, maybe some pork or something that, I could have really just put to the side. Other times my dreams seem really vivid and seem to be um, more thought provoking than what I'm used to. Now, as you guys know, I am a Christian. So I believe that pretty much everything happens for a reason. I also believe that certain dreams do have meaning. When you look in the Bible, you see people like Joseph who had dreams or interpreted dreams, or other people in the Bible where dreams do have meaning. And I believe in that. I believe that certain dreams do have meaning and that you should pay attention to them. I want to talk about a couple of dreams that I had that had some meaning, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I remember I was maybe about 10 or 11. And this is when I really started to understand that dreams sometimes could have meanings. So around that age, that was around the time, it was shortly before 9/11. But this was a time where planes were falling from the sky. It was just crazy. There was a lot of plane crashes going on. Me and my family, or my family and I, let's use proper grammar. My family and I planned to go to San Francisco for a family vacation. We were downstairs in our office looking at flights, looking at various activities to do in San Francisco. I love to travel. My parents kind of, and more specifically, my dad instilled that in me to travel at least, once a year. So, of course, this is something that I'm really excited about. And it's outside my comfort zone. It's on the West Coast. Yes, let's do it. So, we were really planning on this trip. I remember that night, I had a dream. I had a dream that me and my mom and my grandma were in a car. And I was looking out the window, and there was a plane that was like falling from the sky. It was literally falling from the sky. And and it fell like right behind us. So it was kind of sliding towards our car. And it was sliding like at a rapid rate. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, get out the way, get out the way. You see that plane is heading straight towards us. So my mom swerved out the way and the plane crashed into something else. So I woke up and I immediately felt in my spirit that we were not supposed to go on this trip. Even though I really wanted to go to San Francisco, and I love to get on airplanes because I love the takeoff and when the plane descended. But in my spirit, based on that dream, I really believe that we weren't supposed to go on this trip. So I told my parents the dream. I told my parents about what I had dreamed and what I felt in my spirit we weren't supposed to do. So they listened to me. They listened to a 9 or 10-year-old girl talking about some dream that she had. We canceled the trip. And we did not go to San Francisco. I believe we went somewhere else, but there was no plane involved on the other trip that we went. During the time that we were supposed to go to San Francisco, there was actually a plane that crashed during the time that we were supposed to go. A plane actually crashed. I kid you not. Now, you're probably thinking, Christian, that was probably a coincidence. It may have been. It may have been. But I felt like in my spirit that this wasn't a dream that I was supposed to play with. And thank God that my parents didn't really push me off. They actually listened to me and felt like what I was saying was from God, and we didn't go. And just think, if we would have went, my whole family would have been wiped out. Ever since then, I took my dreams pretty seriously. I in my spirit, I believe that sometimes God can communicate to you through dreams. So if there's a dream that I have that, makes some kind of sense, I'm going to take it a little bit seriously. I've also had dreams about people dying, which this is the scariest thing for me. I know when I looked up dreams about people dying, I know usually it means that there's going to be some sort of change in your life. Oh, there was a change. There was a change, all right. The person that I dreamed about died, like actually died. I know this probably sounds like really crazy to a lot of people, but it was scary for me. It still is scary to me when your dreams actually come true. Your dreams that come from your involuntary mind, like working at its best. These dreams were coming true for me, and it scared me. I didn't know what to think. I was scared to tell certain people because I didn't want people to think that I was weird or that I was acting strange or that I was into some kind of voodoo psychic stuff, which I wasn't. But I was like, okay, Lord, if this is something if this is a tool that you're going to use to communicate to me, I'm going to take it. Lord, I just want you to communicate with me. If that's the best way you can communicate with me, that's fine. I will accept that form of communication. So there have been certain times where I've had dreams that have been vivid and they have come true. I've had dreams that I've gotten certain jobs, like this job that I have now. I had a dream long before I got it that I was getting the job. Things like that. So I believe that dreams do have meaning. And if you're having dreams that are vivid and makes, some kind of sense, take a closer look into it. Like, pray to God about it. Look it up on Google and see what your dream means, because I do believe dreams have meaning. I did have a dream recently that it scared me, of course, but I'm like, okay, Lord, this is you trying to prepare me for something. So recently, maybe about a week or so ago, I had a dream that I was working on this project for this person. I don't know first, or I don't know like who that person was. I just remember it was a woman for sure. So I was working on this project along with some other people. And I remember the other people that I was working with were some heavy hitters. So when I say heavy hitters, I mean like people who were high up there. So it wasn't like the average Joe Smo. It was people that we usually don't see a lot, like people that you may see on the news or things like that, like the elite. I'll just say that. So I had a dream that we were in this room, in this banquet room, because we were honoring the people that were working on this project. The majority of the people went up to the front to kind of talk about this project, but I was sitting in the back in the cut because, I didn't. That sounds like me. I'm more of back in the cut person. I don't like the attention on me. I don't like the spotlight on me. I don't like to talk, believe it or not, even though I have a podcast, which is strange. I have a podcast and I don't like to talk. I don't like to talk. I like to be quiet and observe. That is my niche. Okay. So I was in the back, minding my own business, just listening to all the speeches. And they asked me to do a speech. And I was like, I didn't prepare for a speech, but okay, let me just, come up with something off the top of my head. So I was speaking, and people were looking at me really intently, like they were really captivated with what I was saying. I remember my husband was right next to me, and he was looking up at me while I was doing my speech, looking at me like I am so proud of my wife. After I got done with my speech, I got a standing ovation. And I'm like, that's strange. I don't think I said anything, prophetic. Like, I don't know why they're standing up and clapping for me, but they did a standing ovation. So after I sat down, this person came up to me and said, "Hey, here's my card. I want you to give me a call because this politician wants you to work on his campaign." Now, if you know me, you know I do not like politics in any shape or form, okay? So that was real strange. And of course I said, okay, like it was just normal and like I liked politics. I woke up and I'm like, this dream may very well have some meaning. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen. I just didn't know. So I talked to my husband about it. And I think I told my husband so many dreams that I've had that he's like, okay, here she go, dreaming again. So I was like, okay, husband, that's understandable. So I talked to my parents about it, and my parents got like really quiet. And they usually do get really quiet when I say what kind of, if I have a dream that I believe has some kind of meaning. So they said that they believe in their spirit that I'm going to be elevated to places that I may feel like I'm not worthy to be in, but I am worthy to be in those places. And that I'm going to be in a place where I'm meeting these people, and I'm going to try to stay in the cut, but God's going to push me forward into those arenas with those kind of people. And something in my spirit kind of connected with that, because I always felt like there was something more for me to do, something more than what I'm doing right now. Trust me, I love podcasting. This is something that I feel like I can do without getting paid. And trust me, I'm not getting paid to do this at all. So this just proves that I love to do it. And I've been doing this for almost 2 years actually. But yeah, I've always believed that there was something more for me to do. Like God has something big for me to do that is outside of what I'm doing now. And I believe that this dream that I had kind of confirmed that. This whole time I've been trying to find like what does God have planned for me? Like what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing in this life? And it's been silence. It's been complete silence. To this day, I don't know what my purpose is. Sure, I went to law school. I'm a practicing attorney, but I don't believe that's the end of it. I believe that there's something bigger for me to do that I can't really put my finger on it. But I will be happy, okay? Happy when the Lord shows me in great detail what I'm supposed to do. Cause I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I feel like my life isn't fulfilled until I find out like what I'm really supposed to do in this life. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I'm sure you guys do. Every one of us has a purpose a purpose that God wants us to fulfill. And we won't feel secure in our lives. We won't feel fulfilled in our own lives until we fulfill that purpose, until we are in that purpose, doing what we have been destined to do. And I can't wait to find out what that is for me and for all of us, because I believe that's when our lives will really have meaning. So all that to say, whatever dreams that you have, take some time to actually do some inventory, journal it, whatever you have to do. Take some time to really think about your dreams, because they may very well have meaning. I believe they do. I am a firm believer in dreams having meaning. So, have you guys had any dreams where it's meant something or it's actually come true? Let me know. Let me know in the comments or email me at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. You can also follow our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind, and our Instagram page, _Millennial Mind. And of course, I have a quote for you guys, and this is from Colin Powell. He said, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." So true. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. And until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.